How is it going, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with Friday Questions and Answers, episode 43. For some reason, last week's episode did not get a lot of comments or questions. I think there was only 10 questions that ended up getting asked, so that was substantially lower than a lot of other weeks. It might be the lowest in the history of the series. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it got didn't get placed in subscription boxes or what, but as always, guys, remember, if you do watch this, make sure to leave a question in the comment section below so it can be featured in next week's episode. Do that, please. It kind of made me a little bit sad that nobody wanted to ask me questions, but it's all good. I still got a decent amount, which we all know that me answering questions, 10 questions can take me 20 minutes. But let's get it. Let me get my hat showing. The South Alabama Jaguars there. So let's get going. All right, White Sunful says, love your input in the NFL picks. Would it be too much trouble to do NFL point spreads as opposed to straight up? I realize you attach score with your straight up picks, but would still like picks against the spread? I would still like against the spread picks. Okay. I could do that maybe in the future, since it's those regular season's almost over. I won't start doing that now, but I'll definitely look into doing that for next year, because there's a lot of people that comment on my videos wanting something like that. But I don't want to change it kind of mid-season, but I will think about doing that for next season. DJ Hayes says, is Manziel ready for the NFL, and are you pumped for the playoff bracket? Yes, I think he's more ready than he'll ever be. I don't think there's really much he can improve on to be ready for the NFL. I think he's a really, really high risk, high reward player. But I think he's more ready than he'll ever be. And are you pumped for the playoffs? Yes. Can't wait for the NFL playoffs. And also, DJ Hayes asked a couple questions in this episode. Do you think Tennessee fans look at Auburn and say to themselves, why can't that happen to us? Yeah, because Tennessee the last couple of seasons has came out on the wrong end of football games at the end of games, so definitely. Who never know what happens though. Auburn last year 3-9, winless in the SEC. Tennessee a couple down years in the SEC. Who knows? They could be next year's Auburn. DJ Hayes also asked, why do you always pick against Georgia to lose in your prediction videos? We aren't that kind of team. We have a good, solid backup quarterback who knows his offense really well, and a running back you said was the best in the country. Georgia Tech, really? Hey now, my Georgia Tech pick. Georgia almost lost to Georgia Tech, so at least I got a little qualification behind that pick. And I don't normally pick against Georgia this season. I just thought at the beginning of the season I pick against them because they lost a ton of players on defense. And I expected Clemson to have a good game offensively. Got that pick right, and they just been injured. I think it's still a solid Georgia team. I just thought with all the injuries, with it being a rivalry game, Georgia Tech was going to what am I trying to say? I thought Georgia Tech was going to come out and beat Georgia because of all the injuries, and they actually have a chance to beat Georgia, which is not too often. But they played tough. Georgia Tech got up to a huge lead, but Georgia came roaring back, so they'll be fine going forward. I guess it was just a bunch of weird situations this year. I don't have anything against Georgia, but I don't think I picked for them a lot this season. Cormac Shuiti? I can never remember how to say his name. Do you play Bowl Mania on ESPN? If not, you should. Yes, I do, actually. And if you guys are interested in me posting my Bowl Mania picks, like confidence-wise and everything, let me know. And I will definitely do that and talk about it a little bit. I've done that the past 3 or 4 years. I'm definitely going to do it this year again. And Jackson Bear 1, do you watch the Angry Grandpa show on YouTube? If not, you should. No, I do not, and I'll have to check that out. AU, it's Tanya, says, what kind of shorts do you have on? Actually, I don't have on shorts. I have on sweatpants. My old senior sweats from last year. I have my dog's hair all over it. Oh, man. It's one bad thing about having an indoor dog. Alright, where are we at? T Walker 2 says you should make an NFL draft video. I will do that eventually. I might do a little bit earlier than I did last year, but I kind of want to wait a little bit because there's some there's some pretty big announcements that are going to be made in regards to the draft in the next couple of weeks, I believe, because a ton of quarterbacks said that everybody expected to be in the top 10 overall picks this year are staying put. Marcus Mariota's staying put. Brett Hundley's staying put. And it came out today that Teddy Bridgewater was really considering coming back to school. And I had, for the last 2 years, expected him to be the number 1 overall pick. And if he is gone, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And also, Johnny Manziel said he wasn't for sure that he was leaving. I think he's going to leave, but for him to come out and say he's considering coming back and he really doesn't know, I think that's when he said before, not too long ago, he actually said he wanted to make his announcement before the bowl game, before Texas A&M's bowl game. So, who knows? Who knows? If Teddy Bridgewater and Johnny Manziel decide not to come out, man, that a potential biggest quarterback draft class in the past decade would turn into absolute disappointment. And if you're the Houston Texans, you are scratching your head right now and you're scared to death. And if you're Jacksonville Jaguars and Teddy Bridgewater stays another year, you are completely you just won life right there. Maybe that's the reason Jaguars are winning, because they know Teddy Bridgewater's not going to come out. All right, ex-Auburn says, would you rather see Auburn lose the national championship or Alabama beat Oklahoma? That's a tough one. I'd way rather probably Alabama beat Oklahoma. Even though I cannot, I hate Auburn. I mean, I think I've said it before, but the way I've seen Florida State fans come out and act, I've dealt with Auburn fans before doing this, with them winning, so I'm used to it. But Florida State fans, I'm not kidding, are 50,000 times worse. It's horrible. If you're a good Florida State fan out there, I apologize to you, but the people I see, oh my God. But I still rather Alabama beat Oklahoma. Do you think Alabama and Auburn are top 5 teams next year? I think Auburn's more likely than Alabama, but considering the track record, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think it's more likely, actually, if Auburn's going to be a top 5 team opposed to Alabama. Auburn returns almost everyone on offense. Mason might go pro. Robinson will go pro. Disney might go co. Do you think a state will ever win this many national championships in a row? 4 in a row, 3 for Bama, 1 for Auburn, possibly 5 in a row. That is amazing. I don't care if you're an Alabama fan or Auburn fan. Yes, I don't know, because I mean, can you really think about a team in the past half century that's really, or a state that's had 2 teams that really compete for a national championship in consecutive years? I can't. Maybe Florida. If there's a chance, if there's any type of chance, I think it would be in Florida. Either Florida, well, probably the 3 biggest states really in the United States: California, Texas, and Florida. Because you got, I think eventually Miami will come back to prominence. Florida State's, I think, creeping up there. Florida, I think they'll have to come back. They're the University of Florida, national brand. They'll come back. So those 3 have an opportunity to do so. Eventually, Texas. You have a bunch of pretty good schools in Texas. Texas Tech, maybe Texas A&M. Baylor's even on the national stage now. TCU's won a couple Rose Bowls. So there's some options there in California. I know USC, UCLA even, Stanford obviously. Maybe even Cal can come back to national prominence, because a decade ago they were pretty big in college. But it's such a hard thing to predict. I mean, that's a tough feat. So right now, I'd probably say no. 5 national championships in a row. That seems impossible from the same state. So I'd probably say no on that one. Buckeye Fan 2013 says, your football god might be leaving for Texas. Any thoughts? I saw this comment before and I had to get prepared for it, so I wanted to read a quote really quick. I don't want to answer that. I just want to read a quote that expresses my thoughts toward this completely. If I can find it. Come on now. It's a pretty good quote that I really, really like. There it is. Cameron Robinson, a 5-star offensive tackle that's committed to Alabama right now from Monroe, Louisiana. He came out and said this yesterday. When people hit me with that, your coach is going to Texas, I just look at them and say, no, you just want him to go to Texas. So that sums it up right there. And also something on this topic. How many sources are there? Because if there is a website out there that wants to get some traffic. They're going to make up a source. They're going to get their best friend and say, hey, Saban's going to Texas. Saban is staying in Alabama. And they'll go on there and say, hey, we have a highly qualified source that says this or that. And then ESPN picks it up and creates a whole new story that's about nothing. So there's so much stupidity going around with this topic. So that's all I'm going to say on that. That quote sums it up pretty well. And DJ Hayes says, I'm used to there being other questions in between mine. Do you know which team ultimately caused the unsportsmanlike conduct rule? Hint, the team of the 80s, not the 49ers talking college football. Yes, the Miami Hurricanes. Definitely. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, please leave a question in the comment section below, and you can be featured in next week's episode. As always, questions can be about anything sports related to my life, anything. But that's it. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave a like and follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/S3RTR. Catch you guys next Friday. Until then, have a great week. Peace.